What's going on, my guardian gamers? It's I, Birdman, back with another Titan build. Today we're going to be doing a stasis setup that I actually saw from a fellow content creator, Chibi Robo, over on TikTok. Make sure you're checking them out down below in the description. But saw them messing with the feedback fences that actually recently got changed in the season of the Witch, and wanted to kind of try this out myself. Now, before we get into the video, you can follow me over on YouTube and Twitter at Birdman778. Make sure you give them a thumbs up on the video, commenting something you're interested in seeing down below, whether it's Titan, Hunter, or Warlock, becoming a member, and subscribing to the channel. Now, let's hop right on into it. Now, as always, we like to look at the exotic that we're going to be using for this setup, and like I mentioned before, is the ACD/0 feedback fence. Originally, these were just a Titan exotic where you just pretty much would punch and it would build up a charge, and if you got hit by somebody, it would release that charge, doing a bunch of damage. Well, now it is completely changed to be a lot better for, honestly, pretty much any subclass, even though it mentions arc in it. Let's read it. It says, Fury Conductors. Melee hits grant armor charge, and you can take less melee damage while you have armor charge. Taking melee damage causes you to emit a burst of damaging arc energy that jolts targets, consuming your armor charge and dealing more damage based on the number of stacks consumed. So, big reason why these are awesome is for the fact that the more armor charges we have, the more damage that jolt is going to do. But the biggest thing is the fact that we are going to have damage reduction from melee attacks while we have this. So it is really, really nice for a kind of just overall damage reduction and stuff like that, and also for the fact that we're able to just simply build up armor charge from getting melee hits. So you're not having to worry about picking up the orbs of power or doing as much stuff. You kind of have an easy way to get that kind of constantly built up for yourself. So honestly, these are really solid change. I'm going to be probably using these on a few other setups here soon for other subclasses, especially Strand. Now let's look at this subclass itself, the Behemoth Stasis Titan. So we only have one choice, the Glacial Quake for the super. We're actually going to be getting a bit of an update in season 23 for Stasis, which I'm extremely excited about because Stasis might be my favorite subclass. I think it's super cool. I'm also just a big fan of, the color blue, and this is the blue subclass. So naturally, I'm kind of drawn to it a little bit, but hopefully we get a lot more stuff for this added here in season 23. Ability wise, you really don't have a whole lot of choices going through this, especially with the melee, the Shiver Strike. I recommend, you're not really going to be using this a whole lot with this setup. I'll explain here in a second why that is. For your grenade, I recommend a Dust Field Grenade. Big reason why is the fact that this is going to slow targets, specifically Overload Champ. So it gives you kind of a ability to have that available in your back pocket, so if you ever run into one, you have that easy way to stun them and not really worry. Also, it's great for blocking out enemies. If they run into it, they're going to get frozen, and then you're able to get some nice stasis shards from that. For our aspects, we are going to be using Howl of the Storm. Now, this is going to be the biggest one for this setup because it reads, while sliding, activate your charged melee ability to launch a wave of stasis energy towards forward that freezes targets and creates stasis crystals. Big reason why we like this is the fact that we're able to essentially get 4 giant crystals in the middle that we're able to just take advantage of and just explode everyone around us. And a big reason why we like this as well is some of our fragments and some of the mods we're going to be using on our armor is going to essentially help us get that charge back instantaneously. So you're able to constantly just slide around, activate this, and do big area damage. The second one's also going to be Tectonic Harvest. Now, this is absolutely necessary for this because it reads, shattering a stasis crystal, which we're constantly creating with our other aspect, creates a stasis shard. The shard grants melee energy and pick up by you or your allies. So again, right then and there, we have a great way of getting our melee back as fast as humanly possible. For our fragments, I recommend Whisper of Conduction. Nearby stasis shards track your position. Makes it really easy for while you are going through the setup, not having to worry about running around, grabbing all these shards around, so you're able to get your melee energy. You're going to burst them, and then you're going to just have those shards immediately come to you. Helps kind of, make this setup a little bit easier. Next is Whisper of Hunger. Increase the melee energy gain from picking up a stasis shard. Now, this is an absolute must, purely for the fact that even if you have those 3 like melee kickstarts or something like that, you're not going to get it back instantaneously, but this gives you that little bit of edge so that you're able to get that back as fast as humanly possible. Whisper of Rendering, primary ammo weapons to increase damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. Now, big must because the weapon we're going to be using for this setup uses primary ammo, so it makes it really easy just to break those crystals real fast and just watch all the enemies around us explode. And then finally, Whisper Fissures. This one's an absolute must. Increase the damage and size of the burst stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. Again, don't really have to say much about this. Big glacial booms. Now, I mentioned one weapon specifically. You guys, I don't really have to say much. I'm not even gonna really go into this a whole lot. The Monte Carlo.
I gotta admit it, I did not see this coming.
You shoot it, you get melee energy back. This is entire setup based around getting melee energy. There's a chance that even when you break all those stasis crystals, you might not get that back completely, just depending on how many enemies you were able to create shards out of. So this is a great way to just get that little edge back, so you're able to get your melee charge melee back as fast as humanly possible. Also, it's primary ammo, so it's going to break those crystals really easily. Now, when it comes to the mods you're going to be wanting on this entire setup, for your helmet, I recommend just a kinetic siphon, because if you're going to be using that Monte Carlo, it's a great way to use that. Obviously, just match this to whatever you're going to be using for your primary slot. And then I did an ashes to assets, which really isn't all that necessary, but I just like the ebb and flow of that, with also a hands-on, which is a must, I would say. So you're able to get that glacial quake back as fast as humanly possible. Now, over on our arms, obviously you saw this before, we have 3 melee kickstarts on this, meaning that whenever we activate our charge melee, it's going to take away all those armor charges, and we are going to be able to get a lot more melee energy back, so we can use our charge melee as fast as humanly possible. Use that big old line of stasis crystals and blow everybody up. On our chest piece, I recommend doing a charged up and 2 concussive dampeners. Now, you can probably change one of these concussive dampeners to another charged up, so you have just one more armor charge to use for this entire setup. Not completely necessary. You're going to be able to get your charge melee back pretty instantaneously as is, so it's not that big of a deal. So I just like doing 2 just to help out with the damage reduction. But again, this build has a lot of good resistance in endgame content, so it's just completely up to you. Now, an important one is going to be on our legs. I recommend doing 2 elemental charges. Big reason for that is the fact that it's going to give us a chance to get an armor charge from picking up those stasis shards. Got 2 of them, so it's just going to increase that chance to about 30-something%, making it a whole lot easier for us to, constantly pick those up and get our melee back as fast as humanly possible. And then also a stacks on stacks, so that each one of those shards or orbs of power counts as 2 armor charges, ensuring, again, we're going to have that max armor charge all the time for damage resistance, as well as getting our melee back. And then finally, on our Titan mark, I recommend a powerful attraction, so that whenever you use your class ability, all those orbs of power are going to come to you, and 2 distributions, so that you get that ability cooldown when activating your class ability. Now, when it comes to the artifact, pretty much the 4th and 5th slot are going to be the only ones that really matter. First off, I recommend Elemental Fury while champions are stunned. Take bonus damage from your abilities and elemental orbs, so definitely going to help with those explosions of stasis. Communal pickup: when an ally destroys or picks up your tangle or elemental orb, the tangle is reduced in time and you gain bonus damage to the weapon matching your subclass. Again, if you're using like a stasis rocket and you're like powerful slot or something like that, this would be pretty beneficial. And then finally, refreshing pickup: picking up a tangle or elemental orb gives you energy to your least powered ability. And in the 5th slot, rapid fire ranger, so that we're getting that weakening when getting precision hits. And then this one's actually really solid: elemental munitions. Combatant final blows with tangles or elemental orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. Just a really great way to just run over, pick up something real quick, chuck it, and then get a whole lot of free ammo from it. Thanks so much for watching this video, everybody. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. And again, make sure you're checking out Chibi Robo. Again, saw them do this first over on TikTok, so I just wanted to bring some love and light over to it. So make sure you're showing some love, and also show me some love over here by subscribing to the channel, becoming a member, giving a thumbs up on this video, and commenting something that you're interested in seeing down below. Also, follow me over on YouTube and Twitter at Birdman778. Guys, thanks so much for all the love on all the recent videos. I really do appreciate it. Really excited for season 23 coming up here in the next month, so we can see all the cool new changes before the final shape. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great night, day, whatever it may be.